Does anybody want to volunteer for us? Tell us how your day has been, or what you've been doing today. That is a Saturday. We're about 7. Let's just break the ice. Hello, are we all here? Or we just joined and there's nobody online? Where are the people at least that spoke? Jemima spoke. Who else spoke? Biztraction, your people, are they on this call?
I'm here. I'm fine. Thank you for asking. And
Okay.
the day is going well and restful as well. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. Who else want to speak up? So, because at least if we're going to have a nice time with ourselves, we should be able to interact. Else, I'll just come, talk a lot of stuff, and then we just take it that we attended one webinar. So, but I want to try so that we can make it as interactive as possible. In order not to waste much of our time, I would proceed. My name is Richard. If somebody could help me share my slides. My name is Richard Okiasi. Like I was introduced, I happen to run a talent management company, call it HRO agency, in Port Harcourt. And this was something I started from when I was doing my NYSC. First, it started as a freelance business, so I was doing it all on my own, and then it grew to currently we're a team of 9. We've been in that area where we're even a team of 15 and we still churn down. So however you want this conversation, I've had a taste of doing it only me and wearing all the hats you need to wear. I've had having a lot of people who are not even really getting optimal results despite the fact that there are many. And I've also experienced churning down those numbers so that you can have an effective team, not just numbers, right? Okay. So that's just a little bit of me. The name of my agency is Fasthire Services. You can check us online. So today I'm going to be talking about team management, building and managing teams for small business owners. So the small is not in mindset. The small is just probably in terms of the personnel. You understand? You don't have up to 50 people. You don't have up to 500. You're not a corporation with thousands of workers. So that's what the small means. The small is not in mindset, right? So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. And I'll try as much as I can to make it interactive and as practical as possible. And then when it's time for questions, we can enjoy ourselves also. Thank you. So please, my next slide. So I've done a little bit of introduction, which I said, but one thing that I will anchor everything I'm going to be talking about today is on this phrase: the best gift you can give yourself as a business owner is to assemble the right team and get out of their way so they can deliver. If you don't gain anything else from this whole session, one thing I want you to gain from this session is that the best gift you can give yourself as a business owner is to assemble the right team and get out of their way so that they can deliver, right? And if we break down that quote, if we break down that comment, we have three parts of it. Number 2, granting them freedom or getting out of their way. And number 3, managing performance. So I would anchor everything I'm going to be talking about on this thing. So you can feel free to take a screenshot of it. If it's okay by the team, I could share my slides with you guys after this meeting. So next slide, assembling right talent. This is where it all starts, and I'm going to start it from the foundation. where we are, that point where you don't have all the capital, you don't have all the money available to you to pay people for their services. But of course, you need people. You can't do it alone. And if you're here on this call and you are one of those people who thinks, I'm the only person that can do this thing the way I want to do it, then you are not ready to scale. Your business will never scale because you can't do it alone. And even if you can do it alone, you shouldn't be doing it alone, right? You should, as fast as possible, drive whatever you're doing to the point where you can be focusing on the revenue generating activities or income generating activities. Operational activities should not be the thing you spend all your time in. So assembling the right talents, where you don't even have any capital, or where you don't have much capital or much resources to pay, how can you get people to get on your team? From my own experience, here's what happened. When I was starting out, what I did was to reach out to a couple of my friends. This is what I'm trying to build, right? How are we going to do this? Mr. Precious here, for instance, did my first business consultation. And when we started, he ensured that I went through a process, not just to listen to him, but to apply what he's going to be telling me. So we had it in a structured way, and he guided me. Now, I paid a little token, but if compared to what I would have paid for his service, it is nothing. I just paid that money and I believe he did it so that I would not joke with the value he was going to be giving, right? So I've started taking people's or getting people's ideas. Is that not correct? But I've not even started paying in full scale of what I would have paid. I was still a copper then. Then after that, I started implementing. When we were to build our first website, I still went to him. We want to build our site. So I was leveraging on friendship or on relationship at that point to get some things going. So when you're starting out, when you're assembling talents, assembling talent does not mean they have to work for you 24 hours or you have to put them on 9 to 5, right? So because in HRO, there's something we call contract of service and contract for service, right? And in that, you're still assembling talent. You still have to assemble the right people that aligns with your vision. So when I reached out to him, he told me what we ought to do, and then the token we paid, and we got started. If I had reached out to any other agency, I would have paid from my kidney. But this is me already leveraging and assembling. The next thing I did was to put out a post on my status. I was who is looking for an online job, right? And when people came in, I would interact with them, find out why they even want this online job. I would not tell them I'm the one trying to give them the job. And then I was looking for specific kind of people. So when I chatted them for a while, I would say, okay, I have this, or this is what I'm building. I shared my vision with them. I let them understand what I was building. And luckily enough, I had a couple of them said, we will come on board. At that point, they knew the business was making money. They knew all I could offer was just airtime. All I could offer was just airtime or data, but I was able to convince them. I was able to sell my vision to them. So the first currency you're going to be using, I don't know the stage for everybody here, but I want to take it from the bottom. So let's imagine you're starting out and you're the only person, and you're scared that you've not brought in anybody because you don't have money to pay them. Sell your vision. Your vision could be the currency. If you can sell your vision well enough, somebody will buy it and work with you, even for little. So learn how to sell your vision, learn how to convince people, and tell them the part they ought to play and the part you're going to play if they play their part. Sell your vision properly to them. So when you start getting traction, if for the people who are now in the stage of traction and you want to get people, don't hesitate. Don't hesitate to look for people who can make this work easier for you. If you have been running operations all by yourself, you have been doing a particular stuff, maybe for 2 years, all by yourself, it's time to have a reality check. It's time to have a reality check. You should be uncomfortable with you being the sole person doing this same thing for this number of time, it should not be okay to you or by you, right? So when it's time to get people, get them. But people, somebody might say, but I don't know how to recruit people. That's where it comes. There are different ways you can go around it. You can either contract agencies to do that for you, or you can speak with people you know. Sometimes it might just be people you know who are ahead of you in this thing. Just speak to them, tell them you have this thing you're trying to do. Can they help you interview people for this role? Just put out the post, you're looking for this, let people apply. But since you cannot really decipher, get somebody, some of them will not ask you for anything, and then they join you. Then if you are in that position to pay, trust me, there is a time where you work with agencies so that they can get you the right people. Now remember, I'm not saying just hire anybody. I'm not saying hire people. I'm saying assemble the right talent, because those are the people that will relieve your stress. Those are the people that their values align with yours. Those are the people that their goals and what they are looking out for is in line with what your business wants, or in line with where your business is going through. Because sometimes you can just go and gather people who just want, yes, I know everybody or most people are trying to get something to do so that they can get paid. But there are also people who will join your organization not only because they will get paid, but because of their interest in the kind of business you are doing. So those are the kind of people you look out for when you are assembling the right team. If you get it right, you will get your rest quick enough, right? So the goal alignment must be there. You're not just hiring for hiring sake. You're not just hiring to get a lot of people and say, oh, I have a lot of people, right? You are hiring the right people who their goals align. And if you do not know how to decipher that, you can always reach out to organizations, HRO agencies. Even us for them, we're always there. You can ask us and we will train you, we will explain to you how you can know. Some weeks ago, we went to recruit for an oil and gas company, and they were recruiting for a HSC person. Now, the MD has been emphasizing that he wants somebody who is passionate about that role. Luckily, we got some people, but most of them failed in the passion because we were looking for entry level graduate training. Most of them failed. Why? They were talking about doing other things instead of their interest or their vision for, or their purpose, or how they are thinking of that role as that, not just as a role but as a career path. So most of them were looking at it or talking or conversing as, oh, I want this role, not I want this career path. And you might not really know it on your own. That is why you need people who know how to decipher this thing, who have been in settings where they've heard people and they know when somebody's bluffing. They know when somebody's just trying to say things that will just help them get across the line. So don't just assemble people, assemble the right team. And there are a lot to say about it, but I will leave the rest for your questions. My next slide. So the next slide says, get out of their way. This is one challenge a lot of business owners have. You have gotten the right people. If you get the right people, stop micromanaging them. One. Two, trust them enough to put on their thinking cap or thinking hats. Trust them enough to put on their thinking hats. Sorry, just give me a minute. Something is beeping. Let me be sure what that is. Just 2 minutes. Okay, I'm back. So when you get the right people, get out of their way. Getting out of their way means allowing them, giving them, motivating them. Getting out of their way is giving them that motivation to know that, see, in this business, in this role that I have put you in, you have the right to think, to put on your thinking hats. I am not the one that will be giving you all the ideas. Because if you have brought in people and you're still the one thinking for every department, you're still the one trying to innovate, bring in creative ideas, then what have you done? Then it means you have not brought in the right people. I usually think that people who micromanage people are either people who fundamentally have control issues, or they have not hired the right people. And if you have not hired the right person, it's either because you're scared of competition. You know, there are people like that who they don't want somebody who is creative enough, and they start making them feel like uncomfortable in their own business. That should not be your problem. You should even be happy if you have people who are more knowledgeable, or who are thinking, or who have gained experience in an area more than you. That is one thing you should do. So getting out of their way also entails training and equipping them, because you cannot get them to be giving it their best if you do not provide training for them. We have a popular saying in HR: if you don't train them, don't blame them. You cannot train for a result. You cannot request a result that you have not trained for. If you do not train your people to bring them to the capacity to bring a particular result, you cannot complain when they cannot deliver that result. If somebody's capacity is to drink 1 can of water a day, you have to train the person on how to drink more than, if this can is 75 cl, you have to train the person to be able to drink 1.5 cl in a day, right? Or 1.5 is that liter now, sorry. That should be 150 cl in a day, before you can request them to say, finish this, ensure you finish this today. If somebody who is used to drinking only 30 cl in a day, one day you wake up and say, why did you not drink 1.5 liters? You have never trained me how to drink 1.5 liters. You have never pushed me in the direction to see my capacity. So getting out of their way is also you being a motivator, knowing how to motivate your team. As a business owner, one of your strongest traits is that you are a preacher. You will continue preaching, you will continue teaching, you will continue telling people about your vision. That's you preaching. You will continue telling people about the capacity they have, the value they have. That's you preaching. You never get tired of preaching. You preach when you're having your meetings. You preach when you're sending them an email. You preach when you are even having fun time, team bonding. You find a way to be instilling the right values. For the mothers here, we know this thing. It's like when you're with your toddlers, when you're with your kids, you keep telling them, you keep instilling those values in them. That's also the way you do when you're building your team. Remember, you are building a team, not just hiring people. The people you bring in, the shared values they bring in must align. And so that is why in the first aspect, we said assemble the right people. There are people that when you bring into your team, they would pollute your team. Yes, they are experienced. Yes, they have the values. But when you evaluate them on their temperament and their philosophy of life, you know, if I bring this person will cause chaos and will unbalance my team. You protect your team, protect the team that you have built. So getting out of their way is also bringing the right people with the right values. For people who follow football, you know this. You want to strengthen your team in every area so that they stand a chance, right? So getting out of their way. The next thing is so they can deliver. When you've assembled the right set of people, you are out of their way. Sometimes you being in front of them, you being on their faces, limits their creativity because you're the only person bringing all the ideas. So how would they How would they bring in their own stuff? How would they push the boundaries of what they can do? When you're always the one bringing the ideas, you put them, you place a barricade, a limit to where they can move or how they can move. And it places a limit to the things they will be pushing forward to learn. So they would not deliver optimally. But if you follow the first step, which is assembling the right team, follow the second step, which is getting out of their way, you would achieve the next step, which is their delivery. Now, their delivery, how would you know that they are delivering? You have to have a performance management system. You have to have a bottom line mindset. So for all your teams, one thing we do in our organization is that everybody has a bottom line mindset. Every quarter, we have a project. Each person has a project. This is beside the daily operations, because job description does not mean we have restricted you or we've limited you. Another way to put that is job description is not job restriction. We are always pushing you so that you can deliver. Go beyond, go past the boundaries of what we have set for you previously. The knowledge that brought you here or brought the organization here, the points where we are, is not the knowledge that will take them to the next step. So we go more, we do more, we push harder, we learn more things. We put ourselves in positions where we can absorb fresh ideas. We put ourselves in positions where we can see new things and challenge ourselves, so they can deliver. Now, you, the business owner, how do you know when they are delivering? How do you know the things that are important? Avoid vanity metrics. Avoid vanity metrics. In managing a team or building an effective team, you must learn how to avoid vanity metrics. One of them is, we have 10,000 likes. Yes, I like that we have 10,000 likes. So what next? Out of that 10,000 likes, how many people DM'd us, say, I need your service? Those are the metrics that are important to you. We had 20K visits this month to our website. Great. How many people placed order from our website with that? Because if you keep celebrating vanity metrics, you are unconsciously telling them that this is enough, but you know that this is not enough for the business. You are celebrating them for attracting 10K likes to a post. 10K likes to a post that did not bring even one buyer. At your stage, you're not Globalcom or MTN that they are happy with just awareness. Your focus is not awareness. Your focus is sales generating activities, income generating activities, revenue generating activities. At the end of the day, everything we're doing, we must find and see how this thing translates to naira and dollar, kobo and naira, cash at hand, cash in the bank, cash in our pockets. Avoid vanity metrics. Build a bottom line mindset for your people. Every quarter, have a project people are pursuing. Have something. Sometimes it might just be, oh, in this quarter, we want to write an ebook. Why are we writing this ebook? We want to send it out to our potential customers. Sometimes this thing creates some level of positioning. It creates positioning. You think you don't have enough jobs. When people start bringing people, they will challenge you. Because when you have people you ought to pay something, and it's getting to the end of the month, and you remember that you pay them and you did not give them enough job, you start looking for a job for them. So get out of their way so that they can deliver. And when they are delivering, you have a performance management system to gauge how they are delivering, you will not know if these people are working optimally. It will not tell you if the 10 people you gathered in your team, they are worth it, or if just 5 people will do this work. It will not tell you that, it will not show you if you're killing yourself by doing what 3 people can be doing, or if you are just doing that thing and happy with it. Meanwhile, by adding 1 or 2 people, it will blow up everywhere and you find out that you don't have enough job. Sometimes you think you have enough job just because it's only you doing it. You don't have enough job. Get 1 or 2 more hands into that business and you will know if you have enough jobs. Avoid vanity metrics. For you as a business owner, your mind is always on the go. Your mind is always what next, what next, what next. Focus on income generating activities. I'm going to give us a story. I'm going to tell a story. I like stories. I like Greek mythology. I'm going to tell a story. I already told Mr. Precious my session. Most of the things I'm going to say, we know all of this. We hear it here and there. So I'm not going to be saying all those things, I'm going to bring it down to these things. Let me tell you a story of the Greek. She's not one of the major gods in Greek mythology, like you have Athena, you have Zeus, you have Cronus, and the rest. No. But the goddess Nike, which all of us know, is sometimes they don't even tell her story alone. They always tie her story to Athena, right? She's a deity. Some people say deity, not even a major god. She's a deity. But as little as her rule in the grand scheme of things, if I should use it that way, Athena found a way to write her name in history books of Greek mythology. That when the Athens, when people are celebrating, the Olympians are celebrating, and somebody wins, they attribute that victory to Nike. That is how effective she was. And all the people who served her, or who found solace, or who followed her teachings or her ways, they had a way of attracting that thing in her. I want to tell all of you on this webinar that that thing I said in that part where I said you are like a preacher. It's very important. You must know how to instill the right values in your people. So back to the story of Nike. There's this story that was told of many men in a harbor. Let me try and remember the name of this harbor now. Just give me a minute. I've forgotten the name, but they were to go on a war to go and defend. They were part of Nike's followers. They were to go and defend their land. And the captain of the crew, while they were crossing over through water, had a challenge. What was the challenge? The men he was taking to war, the men that, when they say men, the war, his war chest, not the objects now, but the ones in human form, his own war chest, the people who are supposed to hold the ground for him were all scared. They started panicking. You understand? They started panicking. They were all confused. Who would do this? Who would do that? Who would charge? During war, they would say, who will be in front? I'm not the one that will die first. I will be in the middle. I'll be back. So nobody wanted to take front row. And so those things you get, somebody said, the person that stays in front, those are the people that die first. I want to go back to my family. Those things started creating ripple effect. And before you knew it, everywhere was in chaos. They have instilled fear in the other men. Even people who did not have fear initially or started or became scared. And the war was for the next day. And the captain did not know what to do. He called on he called on Nike before going to bed. And then Athena showed up to him in a vision. Some stories say that it's a vision. Some say she came to him physically. But of course, in the Greek mythology, you know how that works. You're open to believe which one it is, right? But then she showed up to him and she said something. She said, many men fight with strong arms, but few know how to move as one. Many men fight with strong arms, but few know how to move as one. Victory does not rest on the minds of a single hero, but on the wavering together of many strengths. She said, listen, and I shall teach you the art of guiding men as if they were parts of same body. When you're building your team, and remember I've used the terminology several times, building, you should understand that every member of that team is important. Remember I talked about securing or safeguarding the energy of your team, because one wrong person, if added to your team, can negatively influence the team and spoil it, and the effectiveness changes. Haven't you heard of scenarios where somebody came and say, somebody came in new to the organization and he's like, for this small money where they pay us, now we do all these things. Or we could just do all this work, madam, or guy could just they relax, no they do anything. Those are those voices you want to avoid. The same way this general in this Nike story did not checkmate that. He allowed external influence pollute his squad, pollute his army. But the next thing, the instructions that Nike gave him was, number one, pair the bold with the cautious. It also binds you, or is also relevant to you. There are projects you want to put out. If you want an effective team, know the strong people in your team. Don't go and put two weak people in certain area. Let's say you people want to go for a public presentation. Don't send two people who are scared of the stage. Let one who is not scared, who is bold enough, be in front and carry one who is not bold enough. Let his own boldness influence the other one. And put the person who is bold enough in front, not the other person who is scared in front. Because you've heard of the saying that a lion can lead a herd of sheep to war and win than a sheep leading a pack of lions to war. So always know these things and know how to do it. So she said, so that rashness would be tempered and fear would be calmed. That was the reason she gave the first instruction. The second instruction she gave to the captain was, assign each man a role fitting his nature. The swift on the wings, the steady in the center, the vigilant as scouts. The swift on the wings, swift are the people who are fast. They can wield their sword very quickly. Those who have stamina in the middle. You want to ask yourself, when you are profiling people to join your organization, are you profiling them the right way? Because effectiveness of your system is you profiling the right people in every part of the game, or in every part of your system, or in every part of your structure, or in every unit in your organization. You have to profile. And I must say this, that in your early stages, you are looking more for generalists and not specialists. What that means is that your interest is not in I'm looking for a specialist in digital marketing, for instance. You're looking for somebody who has digital marketing knowledge and can even do sales, and if even called upon, can do content writing. Let's say, for instance, let's put it that way. Why? Because at the point where you are, you need the best creative brains. You need the people who can fit in a round hole, they can fit in a square hole. That is what you need for lean team management. When your system is now grown, you can now start looking for a specialist in this, a specialist in that. Because what happens is that when you get specialists in your team, they come with I am a specialist, or this is not my job, or this is what I was called for. They don't have that flexibility because over the years they have been trained to just do one thing or work in one role. So when you bring them to your team and you're giving them an offer letter, they cannot go beyond that thing that has been stated in their offer letter. But you see these generalists both in mindset, like they are adaptive. They are even happy not to be limited to just doing one thing. It's the same thing Nike was recommending. He said, assign each man a role fitting his nature. So profile them right, put them in the right place, but you know that these people, when needed in elsewhere or in other places, they can answer you. The third instruction Nike gave was remind them of their shared purpose, that they did not fight for themselves alone, but for one another, for their city and for the honor of Athens. Motivation. You as a business owner, as a business leader, must know how to motivate your team. I said it before, you must be a preacher. You must know how to preach. If it means going to study how top preachers or gospel preachers or whatever preachers do their thing, you have to study how to preach. You have to know how to let these people know that they are called and they are coming together for a shared purpose. Show them where that thing, if done right, if everybody plays their role, show them where that will take them to, or where that will take everybody to. If their interest is better pay, if there's somebody whose interest at the moment, based on your analysis, is they want to make more money, show them how by doing their work well within your organization will lead them to that point where they will be earning big. If all things are done right and you will start getting the results you need. That person who is looking for stability, maybe is married. You have somebody who is married in your team. Know how to show them where they fit in the grand scheme of things in your organization, and it will boost their effectiveness. You must learn how to preach. It's the same thing Antenna was telling this captain. He said, please, the previous slide, just keep it there. He said, remind them of their shared purpose, that they did not fight, or they do not fight for themselves alone, but for one another, for their city, for the honor of Athens. These three instructions Nike gave the captain in the war of Paleron. I think that's the name of the hop ties of Paleron. That's the story, right? This is the same thing it applies to all of us. So number one, be sure that you hold your strong people and let them influence the weaker people, not the weaker people influencing them. You should give everybody a task, not just their routine tasks. Give them something that ties everything they do to bottom line. What is the thing we are planning to achieve? by your own activities, how do you contribute to that? Okay, you are a content writer, fine. Our plan this month is to generate 50 million or 25 million. How does your activities, or how do your activities contribute to this bottom line? You must tie everybody's job, everything they do, to the bottom line. They must see how we interact, and you must know how we interact. If not, the team will not be effective. You just have people who come to work, show up, do and say they've done something, and they've gone. They have to be tied to the bottom line. Every activity. That is how you build an effective team. I like saying that the best companies in the world are not the best because they have the best people. They are the best because the people in them are producing the best results for that industry or for their industry. So we can bring in the best people in different companies or of a particular industry and put them together. It does not mean that that company and form a new company. It does not mean that that new company we form will be the best in that category. If there is another team in another company that is bringing the best ideas, the best solutions, that company will be the best company over this new company we formed with the, in quotes, best people. So you have to know how to instill that value in your people, that they are the best people, or how they can be the best in their role. My last slide. In conclusion, this is what I have to say. In building and managing your team, always remember that unity is most times better than large numbers. It's all about the number of people you have. How far can these people go to represent, to deliver? It's not about having large number of people. How well do you trust the people you have to deliver? How confident are you? Are you the type that every minute you're scared, every minute you give them that confidence that they can do things, and watch how the story changes? So this is all I have to share with you. My last slide. Thank you so much for listening. And I can take questions now so that we get to that part. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Richard. Well done. So I think for us, we can ask our questions. So if you are still thinking about how to apply it to you, okay, Craig is asking, how can leaders create a culture yet team members feel safe to highlight problems without the fear of blaming?
Okay. So it starts with you. Are you vulnerable enough to even tell them when you make mistakes? So if Oga can make mistake or Madam can make mistake, who am I? Again, it's in the conversation. First is in your own ability to be vulnerable. Second is in your conversation. Now, we were trying to start up a service area that we had not been doing before recently. We were about to do it. So I called them together. I said, I know we've not done this thing before. We all know we've not done this thing before. We are all in this. We are all learning how to do this thing. This is the first time. None of us you understand, have worked in a place where we were managing the performance of a set of 20 people or the whole organization. Because there are some organizations, just to share, there are some organizations that will say, we don't think our customer service unit is delivering, or we don't think our sales unit is delivering. Can you come in and do some performance evaluation on this team? Do you understand? So we come in now as an agency to do that. And so I call them and say, see, there are some of these things. We have not been where we do this in a large scale. We're talking of 20, 15 people. Maybe we just do in internal. So we have to learn on it, and we have to forgive ourselves if we make mistakes. That is me telling them. So even when they make mistakes, they will be comfortable committed. Even with that, they will also be confident to try things. So because sometimes when people don't try things is when they feel like if they make a mistake, they'll be victimized.
I guess Mr. Richard is frozen. Just give him the white to come back online.
Just they'll be victimized.
Welcome back. You were frozen before.
No, I mean, even when you said I was frozen, I was hearing you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's just that I was checking the charts, so it's removed my, I guess it removed my visual or something.
Okay, no problem. I will read the charts for you. There are charts.
Okay, that's fine. So talking about the person that was asking for a culture of a problem-solving culture, right? Where was I cut off so that I can trace back?
And when you tell your team that it's okay to fail because you are doing
Yes.
something new.
Yes. So it starts with the way the communication you send to them. They need to feel comfortable around you. They need to feel comfortable bringing suggestions. If they make mistakes, what is usually the reaction when they make a mistake? Is it a reaction of victimization? So it starts with you. Secondly, or thirdly now, you have to always encourage them. You have to always encourage them because there are certain people that if you do not push them, they will not bring out anything. But I must also warn that there are certain people who, just by nature, they are not the type that want to be bringing solutions. They prefer just tell me what to do. You will find them. But where you have to strike the balance sometimes is that if you want them to bring suggestions, isolate them. Don't bring them in the general space where everybody is bringing solutions. Sometimes you must insist, but sometimes if you want to, you can just isolate them. Say, see this thing, I want solutions, I want suggestions to this. Go and handle it. Come back to me. And then when they bring it, they say, okay, you can now say, okay, we're going to be having a meeting. You would outline this, your own suggestions. Then they are comfortable. But see, on the spot, some of them are not the best at thinking of things on the spot. They need to process their thoughts. So you have to accommodate all of this to have a culture. So sometimes when they are giving their own solutions, they don't feel left out. They don't feel like, I would not articulate my thoughts well, because sometimes when people don't give solutions on the spot, is they feel they will not articulate their thoughts, and they don't want to embarrass themselves in public. So I think I have said a few things that could help with respect to that question. I can take the next question.
Jemima, she asked, how do you balance being approachable as a leader while still maintaining authority and respect?
Okay, being approachable as a leader and still maintaining authority and respect. I usually, people have different management or leadership style, but I'm one of those people who buy the idea that people would not care how much you know until they know how much you care. And I use that approach. But you have to be present when you have to be present, and remove yourself when you have to. You remember that thing I said about getting out of their way? You have to also practice that a lot. There are times, there are days when you get into the office, you greet everybody as should be, you go to your space, you don't even come out. Let them be doing what they are doing. Anything you need via mail and all of those things. Then you have the days where you would come, you would interact with everybody. You can even sit on somebody's desk and find out what is going on. You understand? So that approach helps balance a few things. You understand? So that you don't do it too much, and then they take it for granted, right? And when it's time for serious business, ensure you focus on serious business. It's not that scenario where it's serious business, but you're not laughing. No. If there is a need to address anything, address it on the spot. If anything you don't address on the spot, you are slowly encouraging that behavior. Somebody else will do it. And the day you now decide that, okay, this is the day to correct it, you have created issues for yourself, because the conversation will not be, but this other person did it and you did not do anything. Why am I being picked on? So anything that needs to be addressed, don't even mind that it's in public, address it in public. So far it's something public, address in public. If it's something private, call privately. Public stuffs have to be addressed public, so that anybody who is not seeing the idea of trying it would not do it. By that way, everybody will now begin to understand how the culture is. Okay, so in this place, we do like this, we do like this. When boss is ready to play, oh, we play. When it's for serious business, we do serious business, right? You begin to create that boundary. And even within the team members, have conversations around intimidation, have conversation around what's the other word now? Was this word where somebody abuse, right? All those things, have conversations around it in your organization. It could be one day, just find somebody, oh, we're going to be having a topic, somebody's going to speak on this topic. Let them speak about it. Let them know where all of these things, because being approachable, these are some of the things. Everybody should know where the boundary stops, so that when it's beginning to go above what is supposed to be, above the corporate or social one. So have some of these things and have them in your conversation. It's an extra to the question anyway, but I just felt it's going to be needed.
All right. The next question is, if a team delivers results but rarely questions the process, can it still be considered fully lean? Or how do you balance accountability with trust so it doesn't feel like micromanagement?
Sorry, that question is a bit, can we break it down?
Yes, so if a team delivers results but rarely question the process, can it still be considered fully lean?
Okay, so if there's a system and the team just follows that system to always deliver results. They don't even question, oh, what's different, what different thing can we do? You get, or why are we doing this thing like this? Can we do it differently? Is that what who asked the question? Is that what you mean? Can we see, you're asking if that's the case, can we still consider that as a lean process? Is that what you're asking? The person who asked can speak up. Let me be sure I understand the question.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Create, right? So now in lean process, do you understand? Your guys, your team, when you apply lean process in getting your solutions, in delivering your services, you understand, you must always get to that point where even the lean process, you query it. That's what I believe. You query it. You understand? Because remember I said, if you are doing something the same way, you should get to that point where you ask yourself, what next? What next? So, but the idea of having lean process is cost effectiveness, manpower effect. Like you want to use you want to test and deliver solution, test and deliver solution, as opposed to waiting till when you have everything all together. So you have to watch it. If your process is delivering the results that you should deliver, stick to it. Don't change it. And in that result, it also means when you pivot, if you're pivoting and that same process would still handle the pivot, stick to it. There's no problem. Don't, if it's not broken, don't try to fix it. Right? So that's my thought on that.
So the second part is how do you balance accountability with trust so it doesn't feel like micromanagement?
So have a performance management system. Instead of micromanaging, have performance management system. So I said a couple of things, but I'm going to break it down because of this question. Number one, bottom line. Understand the bottom line. Understand the bottom line of every department. The good thing about running a small business or starting a business from scratch is that there's rarely any part of the business you do not have an idea of what should be going on. So when somebody in a department is not doing their job, you know. If at the end of the month, you people did not achieve a particular target or the results you have placed, you don't even without querying it, you have an idea of where the error is coming from, or where the inefficiency is coming from, or the deficiency is coming from. Let's say, for instance, let's use a practical example. We plan on generating 30 million this month. And at the end of the month, we did not generate 30 million. From the top of my head, I have an idea of all the departments that could be responsible. And then the next you start querying. So based on bottom line and based on the fact that we have targeted 30 million, how did we break it down? Oh, in 30 million, we said, okay, we will recruit for 10 businesses, for instance. And each of these businesses could pay us anywhere between 500K to 1 million. I'm just saying. And also, we're going to be writing some of our writing services. And we targeted that, okay, we will generate this amount. These are instances also that I'm using. So they're not factual. So some of the figures might not be accurate. Let me just say, we plan on generating from our writing services 1 million, right? So accumulated in all of these things is supposed to take us to that revenue. When for accountability, you have to now start looking at each department. Okay, writing department, how many jobs did people do this month? Okay, why didn't we complete it? Okay, it takes you to sales, or it takes you to customer service. Customer service, how many people came through? Why were you not able to close? Okay, you about 100 people came in this month. So how many did you close? Only 20. What happened to the remaining 80? This. You query. By the time you ask 5 questions in each department, you ask why, 5 whys in each department, you find a root cause. It might be that customer service, they are not enough. One person cannot, maybe by the time the person has answered 3 calls in a day, the person is fatigued, and the remaining people that come, they don't give the person exclusive answers, and then they get angry and leave. What do you do next? Get customer service. So this is accountability. You can query, writing people. Okay, so you people wrote only 30 jobs all throughout the month. Why? So it means every day you were just writing only 1 job for 30 days. What were you doing the remaining part of the days? But you looked busy all through. It now also means, okay, writing people, either they are not efficient, because if that 30 job, they had finished it in 10 days of the month, and by the remaining days, they look idle, it will not bring question. Why are you not doing anything? There's no job. Really, no job. Then you now go to sales or you go to customer service. There is no job. So bottom line, understanding the bottom line and spreading it out to every department, or drawing it to how we connect to different departments, is how you get that done. This is also where organizations like ours come in. Sometimes this is what we just do, help you break that down. Biztraction also does that perfectly well. You can always they will break down your processes and show you how it aligns with every person in your organization. Content writer, you wrote this number of content. So out of this number of content you wrote in a month, how many drove sales, or how many brought in demand or requests for our service? If not enough, then what content were you writing? It means the research process was wrong, or it means you're not writing the kind of content that will bring us leads. This is every department. Once you tie your bottom line to every department and share it, that every department has a part of that responsibility to take, it will make it easy for you to now know which person is performing well, who is not performing well, and it will even let you know if that your team, you're just carrying too many people. You understand? Because in this instance I gave now, where the whole writing department did only 30 jobs in 30 days, of which, and that is something they could have done in 10 days. So there's no optimal performance there. So it helps you in that process. So bottom line, in summary, know your bottom lines, tie the bottom lines to every department. Is going to help in accountability. So when everybody knows not only their job description, but the bottom line at the end of the month, when it's getting to, when you got to half the month, it puts you under pressure. We never do this thing, we never do this thing. You begin to call, okay, who are the people running ads? Please, there your check if the ad is working. It needs to generate more leads. But if it's not managed this way, they will just month in, month out, months don't come, months don't end. At the end of the month, have a meeting, sit down. Okay, bring in what were the targets based on the bottom line we have for this month. It's in accountability. So I hope I helped to shed light to that. I don't know if it's still
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right.
So, but the next question is, you talked about dealing with team members based on their strengths. So what's the most effective way to identify and develop the strengths of individual team members?
Okay. First of all, for somebody like me, I've been blessed to have that intuition. I usually say that one of my greatest strengths is that I know how to identify talents. And it's part of the thing that has helped me getting into HR and rendering HR services. I can look at people and I would tell you, based on interaction, where your strength is. Sometimes you might be thinking it's in this way and it's this way. We've been opportune to have people come in to apply to jobs in our organization, and during the interview, I'll tell the person, you know, this job you're applying for is not the right place. Come, we have another vacancy. This is the job you can do. Go in. And we have people, while we've helped them reroute their career path, they have been grateful for just that one decision. It also happens within us internally. I've had people who came in to Fasthire wanting to work in one department, and I looked at them, I said, see, you are not, based on this interaction, on just this interview, this is a place you can work, and it has worked well. So number one is intuition. If you have that intuition, build on it. Sometimes you can look at people and what they do. You have somebody who talks a lot. The person is not a talkative. There is something that person is trying to express. You think it's talkativeness, but it's something else. That's part of the way. Even you have to train yourself. Every business owner has to also train themselves to a certain level. Of course, more people have it more than the others, but every business owner too has to train themselves to build that intuition of seeing strengths in people. So first, the way you build that is intuition. Secondly, is looking at, like, asking them. Sincerely, they should tell you. When they do that, you can now begin to align them. We've had people who came into our organization and the department where they are best fit was not yet existing. And I told them, stay with us for a year. By the beginning of the second year you'll be with us, we would have set up this department, you will head it. And they did it. While they are waiting, they are gathering relevant skills. So that is where you, as a visionary, comes in. They are gathering strengths here, gathering strengths here. You know where their greatest strength is. You can now channel them to that. So another one is that, like I said, another one is asking them. You understand? But sometimes, because a talent is good, it does not mean because a talent is good. You understand? You have to accommodate them while looking for ways to build them within that environment that they are strong in. Sometimes you can accommodate their flaws in areas where they are not strong in, because you know that you're building the process to channel them to where they are strong in. Another one is trainings. Send them out for trainings. Call people to train them. You understand? Call people to train them. That is how you sometimes you find out when they come, they give a general training, it picks something in them, and subconsciously they start doing things, and you'll be observing, and you now say, okay, this is it. The last story I'm just going to say with respect to this is a lady, her name is Beauty, may her soul rest in peace. She came in to us. She was one of our CV advisors, and at the point where we were going to, we found her strength was also in project management. It also showed in the certification she was getting, because I observed, who has recently taken a certification course. She said I said, in which area? She said project management. I said, why? So I just listened to her, and I asked, and I found out that she also had interest in that. So also having time to converse with your people would help you. In the things they do, it will help you see where their strength is. Sometimes interest is not just ordinary. Interest is something. There's something inside that is transmitting as that interest. So, thank you.
All right. There's still a couple of questions.
Okay, sure.
So how can teams ensure consistent delivery without burning out?
Okay, how can teams ensure consistent delivery without burning out? A lot of things have to go in. One, please develop team bonding activities. If you can't develop it, reach out to an agency that can help you do that. You can even ask ChatGPT. Bonding activities help in doing that. I also hope sometimes you can give your people a treat. You understand? Sometimes you can give your people a treat. It helps rewire the brain and all of those things, right? Then give Xmas breaks. Don't be one of those employers who do not grant public holidays. When public holidays come, grant public holidays. This is as simple as it is, but it makes a whole lot of difference, right? We have some businesses, they claim, oh, because we're small, we can't grant public holidays. My dear, grant public holidays. You understand? Even the one that just looks like, still grant it. Yeah, you know you're not obligated to, but just grant it, just because sometimes it helps them to rest and come back recalibrated. Grant the holidays, right? Which other options are available there? I've talked about end of year. Give end of year, 2 weeks to the end of the year. Give them just that feeling that the organization gave them time to rest is all they need. Sometimes it's not even that. It's not they even during that period. It's not like they were resting. They will still be busy with their thing. But that feeling. Another thing is, if you can grant work from home days. Grant work from home days. I bet you it might not, like I said again, it might not be that it's anything, but that feeling that I work in an organization, we also work hybrid. Just that feeling. It's like dopamine. It makes a lot of difference. It makes them feel happy and excited in the environment they found themselves. Not really that. Do you understand? The person I will ask you, are you getting the point? Like, just give work from home days. It makes it, and couple with all this thing. Allow them, let them work from home. You understand? So those are some of the things you could. Then there's also those part of reshuffling responsibilities. You understand? Sometimes when somebody has grown in an area and has exhausted the value the person can give in that particular role, don't hesitate to either transfer the person to another department or another role, promote the person to another. So you get all of those things so that the creativity is there, because when you're in a new environment, you want to challenge yourself to bring in new things. Then another way to ensure that a team remains creative is injecting new blood. That is bringing in new people. The people there, after a period of time, they already know how to do things. Inject new people. That person who comes in new would also be eager to prove their own capacity. And by them bringing in suggestions and all of those things, the old people who are there will be like, this person will just come, which they make it not be like, say, no, leave, they too, they will up the game. So that healthy competition. Another thing is employ Gen Zs. I know a lot of people are scared or cautious about employ Gen Zs. Even you, they will challenge you. They will put you on your seat, but employ Gen Zs. So everybody, write in the comment section, I would employ a Gen Z. Write in the comment section, I would employ a Gen Z. I want to see everybody writing that. Employ Gen Zs. I'm not seeing them. Where are the comments? Write in the comment section.
I'm giving you emojis.
No, I want it written. So because it is still that thing in us. You understand? At the end of the day, these people are part of that. Yes, okay, thank you, Mona. Who are the rest? Who are the other people they go? I would employ agency. The reason is because these people, they are people like us. They are in their own era. Like, you have to understand, life keeps moving. You have to challenge yourself. The reason a lot of employers are scared of Gen Z is because they are scared of being challenged. They are scared of adapting. You understand? Employ Gen Zs, they would put you on your toes too. You will start looking for creative ways to manage them. As they are bringing in their creativity, they are putting you on your toes. You're putting them on their toes, and it makes the whole process fun. So employ Gen Zs. If you want to have creative systems, employ Gen Zs. Millennials looks like they've exhausted the solutions they can bring it into the workplace. Not like they've exhausted. What I mean is, we already have a system that is working. So the environment, the world around us, we already know how the world works, and we've accepted it. We've come to accommodate it like that. You see, the Gen Zs, they have not yet accepted the world around them. So they are querying everything. They are questioning. They are trying to tilt everything. So bring them into your system. It brings creativity. As they enter your business, there are things that you'll be doing like that in 20 years. They are the same, that thing that burns in them to query everything. They will start questioning it. In the next maybe 10, 15, 20 years, their own inquisitiveness will die down because they would have naturally adapted to the environment, to the world around them. The world would have molded them. Then maybe Gen Alpha will not come with their own. It's the same way millennials came with their own. So employ Gen Zs. So that would also keep your team creative and you don't burn out.
All right, thank you so much. The last question on the board here is alignment with company vision built more from leadership communication or from how teams interpret and apply it?
Is alignment
with company vision
more about
built more from leadership communication or from how teams interpret and apply it?
So is how the leadership communicates it. Do you understand? It's how the leadership communicates it. That's how they will buy it. Is what you sell to them that they will buy. Is when you did not sell anything to them, they will not generate something, or they will even just stay without working with anything. So if you want them to key into your vision, to buy your vision, you have to communicate it, and you communicate it clear enough, communicate it frequent enough, because remember what I told you, that they can forget. So you have to keep reminding them of what the big vision is. So that is how alignment comes.
All right, I think that's the last question we have.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I think this is a time well spent, and I want everybody to just unmute and say thank you, Mr. Richard.
Thank you, Mr. Richard.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Richard.
Thank you so much. So I'm on LinkedIn, everyone. For those who want to connect with me, I'm on LinkedIn. It's Richard Okiasi on LinkedIn. And of course, my email is also there. I don't know if that slide can also be shown for anybody who wants to connect with me. Thank you so much for having me. I have my boss here. He joined in quietly. Mr. Udeme. Mr. Udeme is actually my teacher. He taught me while I was studying for Chartered Institute of Personnel Management. I just want to greet him and thank him for making our time to attend this session. He told me he wanted to attend this session. I didn't know he was going to be here. Welcome, sir. Thank you.
On behalf of Richard, thank you, Mr. Udeme. We appreciate that you joined our session. So you might likely just want to observe, so we'll not mind if you
it's fine. It's fine. All right.
Thank you,
so
sir.
Thank
everyone in the meeting appreciates Mr. Richard. We also appreciate Mr. Udeme for joining us. It's been a wonderful day, and I want to thank everyone for joining the sessions yesterday and today. If you joined yesterday and today, we find to give you a gift so that at least you benefit something much more than the other people that did not join today. So we'll just arrange that and see how we can help you. So for some of you, we might just help you set up your organogram and just look at your process, or help you with your core values, or help you align your vision with the things that you are doing. And so because if we look at some of the things that Mr. Richard said, even if you are a sole proprietor, you should also be able to connect everything you do when you go to the office every day. if you go to the office today, how does all the activities that you do, how do they connect to the money, the revenue that the company will make, that the business will make at the end of the day? So because if you're not measuring it that way, you'll be going somewhere every day, every day, every day. And at the end of the month, it looks like all your efforts are not producing the kind of results that you want to see. And why some of that might be because knowledge and all those things, but at least now that you have been part of this session, the knowledge part is being taken care of. And so you now cannot go back and put the systems in place to now ensure that the efforts that you are putting into that business, it shows. And if you're a business that you've been doing this for 3 years, you should be able to really measure what you are doing. Because for me, one of my philosophy is if you're doing something for 3 years and you've not really make a mark yet, you need to evaluate to say, oh, maybe the industry that you are in, if you are in fashion industry, you are in real estate, you are in just normal retail store, you're buying and selling, could be clothes, could be shoes, bags, whatever it is. You need to understand to say, oh, is it that the business is no longer relevant to the people I thought I want to sell these bags to? Or maybe it's the place where I am selling these bags that I'm not selling to the right people that are going to buy from me. So all of that process allows you to build both the right structure, the right system, get new information that will allow you to now build a business that will really, really grow. So I want to thank every one of us. There are a couple of other webinar series that we'll put out because you're already in our list. We'll always send those to you first so that you can be part of them. In the next webinar happening on October 17th, also a Friday, now we want to talk about tax. I know a lot of us have been hearing about tax and we have been wondering, what will happen to me? Will I start paying my tax? At least that session will allow us to understand, oh, are we even eligible to even pay tax? When are we eligible to pay tax? All of the processes surrounding how to do that and how to be able to set up that process for you. Thank you once again. I think with this, we'll call it a day today. And I really want to appreciate everyone for being here, for interacting and engaging. I know we have Craig Hees. Thank you for the amazing questions. Jemima, Abraham, Muna, Peace, Tony. Thank you, everyone. Do have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.